Coming up on this episode of System Integrators Weekly, we hit price points of $1,200, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000, and $5,500, and a price point of blank. Thanks, NZXT. All that and more in this episode of System Integrators Weekly. Let's go, nerds! Hello everyone, I'm Radeon. Welcome to System Integrators Weekly, where we know that summer has come, and with it, some blazing hot temperatures. And what better way to remedy those hot temperatures than to buy a gaming computer that'll put out the same amount of heat as about 2 or 3 large, sweaty people? I should probably come back to that one in wintertime. Anyway, so we know that you can't really build a gaming PC right now because you can't buy a graphics card because of the worldwide shortage. You can if you want to spend 2 or 3 or 4 times the price on eBay, but we're not going to do that. We're actually going to beat those silly scalpers by getting our graphics card in a pre-built gaming computer. Now, if you just want to leave it at that and use your awesome new gaming computer just as it is, fine. Now, if you're a custom PC building enthusiast like myself, you can actually just take the graphics card out of that pre-built and build a whole computer around it, like I did over here. And you can do so reliably for an actual reasonable price, at least by today's standards. Now, this is not how we normally do things, but what I'm going to try to do with this episode is hit a number of different price points and figure out what the best current option is for that price point. Now, before we actually get into looking at these system integrators and seeing what they have to offer, I have 2 disclaimers for you. First off, this was recorded on June 13th, 2021. Availability for these parts and PCs changes daily. That goes 2 ways. That means what I show you now may not be available when you go looking for it to buy it. The flip side of that is what I say right now is not available might be available tomorrow. So, pros and cons. Second disclaimer. A lot of this is based on my opinions. Now, my opinions are formed after many years as a PC gaming enthusiast and a PC building enthusiast, and many years in the IT industry. However, this is not a command that you must go buy these things I say you should buy, okay? This is your money, it's your purchase, and it should last you many years, so we wanna make sure it's the right one. So, let's get into the video, and you can see which one's right for you. iBUYPOWER, okay. Now, I generally like to go into same-day ready systems first because these you can get within 5 to 10 days. I actually got mine in 4 days. Now here we have a system for $1,129, a gaming ready system with a Core i5-11400F and a GeForce GTX 1660 Super. That's a very capable machine, and it ships in only a few days. So if your price range is between $1,000 and $1,200, you may be reaching for your wallet right now, but hold on. We might have a better option. Just trust me, we'll get through iBUYPOWER, then I'll talk about it. Okay, if your price range is around $3,500, you would do pretty well to get this Intel Core i9-11900KF system right here with the Radeon RX 6900 XT. That is the best offering that AMD Radeon has, and it's a great GPU. But we'll get some better options for that price point later on. Wow, $4,500 for an iBUYPOWER system, but it is completely maxed out if you like Intel. So looking at this system here for $1,500, this is pretty good, actually. 11700F processor and a GeForce RTX 2060. I think we might be able to do better than that for a $1,500 price point. So, but just keep this one in mind in case the other one goes out of stock. So, some great options under same-day ready systems. These are good. These are good. The only thing to watch out for with these, well, is to take a look at the case that it comes in. Some of these systems will have cases that have all glass on the front. You'll notice that it mostly has its airflow closed off, except on the side right here. That's not ideal. It's workable, but not ideal. Now, for those of you following along at home, to get to what I'm showing you here, all you have to do is go to iBUYPOWER.com. And then you can either click on Same Day Ready Systems to look at those, or go to Build Your PC and choose the platform of your choice. AMD still wins in almost every circumstance when it comes to their CPUs. So that's what I generally tend to show you in these videos. So we're going to click AMD Gaming PCs just hypothetically here. If you choose to get a system from the custom PC builder here. And by the way, avoid the easy builder, okay? That not only exempts you from certain sales that they have, but not everything's available through the easy builder. Okay, it's just better to go this route. Now let's just pick a system here that looks kind of tasty here. Let's see, 5600X and a 3060. There you go. It's a great combo right there, especially if you're looking at 1080p gaming. It can do some 1440p gaming as well. Okay, so if you're gonna pick a system from here to customize, I recommend using the Be Quiet Pure Base 500DX tempered glass gaming case in black or white, or you can go with the Lee LandCool 2. Those are the cases that I recommend the most out of the ones that are currently available. If the LandCool 2 mesh is available, pick that one. That's probably the coolest looking one and my personal favorite, but they don't have it very often. So looking at the CPUs that they've got, it appears that they're out of the Ryzen 9 5900X. I can understand that. I want one. I would have bought one had I customized my system. So that takes an extra 4 weeks lead time if you want that one. But I run on a 5800X and it does everything I need. We're looking at a 5600X, which is the best value proposition for a gaming processor. And it beats the 10900K, Intel's last top dog from last generation, and the 11900K, their current top dog in almost every game. And always go for a 240mm AIO, which is totally fine for the 5600X. Actually, the 120mm all-in-one liquid cooler can handle the 5600X. But if you want to upgrade later on and you want to upgrade your processor to a 5800X or higher core count, this way you can spend $12 right here and not have to upgrade your all-in-one liquid cooler. And you could even spend $29 and get a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler. $30 for triple the cooling. I would do that. Let's talk about GPU availability from iBUYPOWER. They currently have in stock right now for AMD the Radeon RX 6700 XT, the NVIDIA GeForce 1660 Super RTX 2060, the GeForce RTX 3070 Ti, and 3080 Ti and 3090, all in stock right now. So if you've been eyeballing that 3070 Ti, don't look at the 3080 Ti. It is so expensive. They actually didn't do too bad here because it's supposed to be only $100 more than the 3070 based on MSRP numbers. I know MSRPs are a fairy tale, an urban legend, something whispered of around the campfire. But still, they're only making it $139 more instead of just $100 more. I would say this is actually a pretty good value for the 3070 Ti, and guess what? They got it right now. If you want a 3060, 3070, or 3080, those all have 4-week lead times. If you want an AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT or 6900 XT, those have an extra 2-week lead times. Remember how I said if you're at $1,000 or $1,200 price point, in that range, I might have a better option for you? Well, let's take a look at that, because for once, during filming, CyberPowerPC has more than just one really, really terrible option. Instead, we have 2 options in your price range. If you're around, $1,000, $1,100, $1,200, I would say there's not a whole lot that companies are offering for $1,000. The closest is NZXT's starter PC, and that one has its own flaws. But right here, you've got 2 systems, and one of them is a clear winner. This is actually a pretty amazing system for that price, okay? This has the Ryzen 7 3700X, that's 8 cores, 16 threads, okay? Boosts up to 4.4 gigahertz. Now, it's not the newer architecture, like this would be the predecessor to my 5800X that has the newer Zen 3 architecture, but still, for gaming, this would perform quite really well, actually. And you get that with an RTX 2060. So you actually add on some ray tracing to that, all of the RTX voice. You can get the NVIDIA broadcast software, which the GTX 1660 Super can only do RTX voice. It cannot do the NVIDIA broadcast software where it removes your background or blurs the background, all that kind of stuff. I've actually used that. It's very nice. Now, Are there a couple of caveats to this? Yes, the case is not the worst that I've seen when it comes to airflow. You do have this intake here on the side, okay? And that doesn't actually look like it's too blocked off, but it's not a large enough open. It's not as good as having a full front mesh panel, but remember what we said about case migrations. You can migrate the system to any case you want, and you can find good airflow cases for about $80 or $90. So this right here is also an instant ship system, ready to ship out the next business day. I've never purchased an instant ship system from CyberPowerPC, but it seems to be a similar process to how I got my same day ready system. So if you need something quick and you need something in your price point and it's around $1,200, this is awesome. If your budget is around $1,000, I would say save a little bit, I don't know, mow a couple of lawns or something and get this one, because this is an excellent system for the price. I'm not even kidding. It is B550, so it is compatible, fully compatible with 5000 series Ryzen processors. So I think this is probably the best system at $1,200 price point right here. That's what the timestamp's gonna tell you, and that's probably why you clicked on it. Okay, next. Actually, is gonna be a misspelling of next. NZXT. NZXT is acting up. Very upsetting. I'll show you what I mean. And I have heard some viewers talk about this happening, even though it never happened to me during recording. So we go to, in order to get to this, we go to nzxt.com, we go to gaming PCs, we go to build a custom PC, and then we start the build, okay? Now, if your price point is $1,000, you could do worse than the starter. Oh, it's sold out. It's sold out. I was gonna say something nice about this starter PC, and it's sold out. Oh, me. Okay, let's start over. Let's take a look at what I'm talking about when I say it's acting up. We're gonna hit an AMD build. We're gonna say our budget is, I don't know, let's shoot for 1,500, okay? It's not gonna be 1,500, but we're gonna work our way up from there. All right, so it's frustrating because it tells you, please select a different item. This right here telling me, please, they had a standard one they were going to tell you should buy, and they ran out of those. So this is telling you, hey, we're out of those. Please select a different one. Cool, all right, let's do that. Let's see here, we got the GeForce RTX 3070, let's go with that. And then it tells you, hey, please select a different item for RAM. So it seems that they're out of their 8 gig sticks of this 3200 megahertz RAM. That's fine. I'll tell you why. Because you can go up to the G.Skill Trident Z RGB, and let's just choose the 16 gig. Oh, they're out of the 8 gig sticks of the G.Skill Trident Z RGB, 3200 megahertz. Well, unless you want 32 gigs, if you're just looking for a gaming PC, 16 gigs is just fine. Well, here's what I would have recommended anyway. 3600 megahertz for the Ryzen 5000 processors, which this has a 5600X. If you're getting a system where you can customize it, and it's a Ryzen 5000 series processor, your 5600X, 5800X, 5900X, or 5950X. The sweet spot for your RAM speed, and you'll see this number when you're looking at the RAM, is 3600 megahertz, okay? I can go into the topic of Infinity Fabric and why it likes that, why the Ryzen 5000 series likes to have 3600 megahertz, but that's not what we're doing here. We're just saying add. Okay, so there you go. 16 gigs of 3600 megahertz, which is what a 5600X for a gaming computer should have. So right here, this puts us at $1,958. And we're gonna add a couple of extra little things. And I know this is gonna pop up the price, but let me explain what we're doing. So first off, I would recommend getting, wait, did they really go with with an SSD? Guys. Heads up, if you get a $1,500, if you tell them budget it for $1,500, they're not going to put an NVMe drive on there. It's $59 more, guys. That's for the 500 gig, and we're going to take this other one off. Thank you very much. A 500 gig is okay for your boot drive. You're going to need more storage though. If you get a terabyte for your boot drive, you'll be okay for a while, okay? And it adds about 50 bucks. Not too bad. But if you want a lot of storage for, like, say, your game library, you can spend $59 and triple your storage. Now, if you're only getting the 500 gig NVMe drive, you should do this for sure. But if you're getting the 1 terabyte boot drive, the NVMe SSD, then you can wait on this and get storage later. So this system right here, if you're looking at about $2,000 to $2,200, this is a great system for you. However, this is where NZXT's been acting up. There's our system. It's ready to go. We spent all that time configuring it. And it looked like that part was in stock. It said, choose another GPU. But then it's like, hey, we actually don't have that. I had not seen NZXT do that before, but I've heard of it happening, and that's apparently a thing. So you basically have to do trial and error, and it seems like, going by that trial and error, the 3060 is in stock. I checked it. The 3070 Ti is not in stock, and besides which, they're also charging an extra $240 to upgrade from the 3070 to the 3070 Ti. That's a big price upgrade for not a big performance upgrade. The 3070 Ti only gets like 3 or 4% more performance on average in frames per second. Now let's check on the 3080 Ti. I don't want to, but we will. Let's hit add to cart and then delete the other one. What, did they move that button? Oh, wait, whoa, what, huh? Oh, it says none of this stuff's gonna work now. Wait, whoa, hold on. Oh my, what? What is this? What happened? This is what I said. Okay. Okay. I don't know what's going on right now. Let's reload the page. Let's hit back. Okay, we got it. We got it. A little brain fart on their corporate server that shouldn't have brain farts. All right. So because we changed that, apparently it doesn't like it. It has issues. So if we hit 3080 Ti, it's going to say, hey, you need a better power supply. It should be obvious that you need. It's just not going to. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to upgrade that. 850 watt should be fine. Oh, it upgrades the power. Oh, build modified. Selecting this GPU upgrades your power supply. No, me clicking on it upgrades my power supply because you didn't do it. And let's see if it's available. It is not. Wow, I'm glad I did all that work. And let's check the 3090 because why not? Hey, well, there you go. If you want a GPU from NZXT, you can get a 3060 or 3090. Talk about opposite ends of the spectrum, but it's there. That's what they have. Thanks, NZXT. Thanks a lot. Now, before we get to the next one, I want to mention something really quick for you guys. The celebratory 1K stream for last Thursday, was oh hell yeah, boys and girls, new rig is on the way. Let's go is right. Let's go, chat. We got another one. That is system number 5. Hell yeah. Ghostly Fox 1 bought their PC. All right, let's go, everybody. Let's go. That is number 8. PC number 8. It was amazing. It went really, really well. I've never had a stream with almost 60 people in it at once, all shouting at me about computers. I loved every second of it. Now that one went extra long, but that's not going to be the case normally. It's going to be 8 p.m. to about midnight every Thursday for the foreseeable future. Okay. So if you want one-on-one help picking out your custom gaming PC, show up around that time, hop into the queue. Instructions will be in the stream on how to do that. And I would love to help you out. Now, you may be on the lower part of the list where I can't get to you right then, but that means you'll be at the top of the list next Thursday. All right. I got to tell you, there is nothing like the experience of making a decision like this and throwing away all the money to do some gaming with a bunch of people cheering you on. It's I like living vicariously through you guys. It's like I get to buy all these PCs. So I get all the stress of shopping for it. But I don't get the PC. It's great. Anyway, no, seriously though, I love it. Come by the stream, and if you want to hang out, just to hang out on Sundays, we stream at 8:30 Central. So right after you watch this video, I'm gonna be streaming probably. So twitch.tv/Braithorn. I'll see you there. Okay, so recently someone brought up something very interesting, and that was, hey, what do you think about EK water blocks, or EK fluid gaming as they call it? What do you think about their custom gaming PCs? Now, EK water blocks is a titan in the industry of liquid cooling for PCs. And I plan on doing one myself. I plan on hardline liquid cooling this system here when I get the money for it, when I get around to it, because it costs like $600-700 to do it. It's expensive, well, $550, $600, something like that. Depends on what you go with, but it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of technical expertise and testing and leak testing and pressure test, just making sure you don't have leaks, because, water running free in a computer with electricity in it, not ideal. So what they do is they do it all for you. So we're going to see what the value proposition is on that. I want to check that out. So all you got to do is go to ekfluidgaming.com. So from here, you just scroll down and choose your team, as they say, team red or team green. Now, this is when it comes down to the difference between AMD's video cards and NVIDIA's graphics cards, okay? NVIDIA's graphics cards are in their second generation of ray tracing. They have a well-established encoding hardware, the NVENC encoder, and it is phenomenal. Extra smooth streams if you'd like to stream, and it's very good at encoding video. Now, they're also very, they're still on top of a lot of charts when it comes to gaming. However, this last cycle of hardware releases, AMD came out swinging, and they actually beat NVIDIA in a lot of benchmarks. However, not in video encoding and not in ray tracing. If you like real-time ray tracing, real-time lighting in your games, AMD's not the one for you, because it's their first generation of ray tracing hardware. Okay, next generation is going to be better. But yeah, the RDNA 3 is going to be better at that, and hopefully they actually focus on encoding. They come out on their keynotes and they're like, we're all about gaming. It's like, that's not all that needs graphics. So if you want to do any kind of content creation, you want to get into streaming, 3D modeling, things like that can also be better on NVIDIA. So something to consider. That's why I usually go with NVIDIA. It's more all-purpose. All right, cool. So we're looking at the NVIDIA systems. Now, their cheapest system here has some decent specs. It's 5600X and a 3070, but it is $3,000. $3,000 for hardware that you can get at around 2/3 of that. That's a lot. You do have to consider the fact that they're using a Lian Li O11 dynamic case that is an expensive case. They're using all hardline liquid cooling that's already done for you. And well, I imagine that they must also be using the top of the line, best picked out RAM that you can get that's perfect for Ryzen 5000. Oh, well, never mind. It's 3200 megahertz. Well, surely their $3,700 system is going to have 3200 megahertz RAM. It's all 3200 megahertz RAM, all of it. Even their $6,000 Ryzen 9 5950X RTX 3090 system has 3200 megahertz RAM. Do they not know about Infinity Fabric? Is it not a thing for them? 3600 megahertz RAM is what you want if you can customize, but EK does not let you customize the system. It is what it is. You get what you get. Okay. Almost reminiscent of Corsair. However, Corsair does have some level of customization. We can hit buy now and take a look at their very elaborate specification sheet. Nice spec sheet, guys. Really quick, I might even speed this up. Ryzen 5 5600X, 1TB Samsung 970 EVO Plus, 850 watt gold power supply, chassis Lian Li, well, we can't really match that, but NVIDIA RTX 3070. They don't tell you which 3070 it is. A 2TB Seagate Barracuda for the mass storage to match that 1TB 970 EVO Plus for the boot drive. And well, they give you custom braided cables. That's fancy. Memory, Asus Prime X570 Pro motherboard. Hey, they told you the brand on that. Thanks, guys. And of course, their EK Hardline custom water loop GPU and CPU cooling. So let's match that up. Now, I know I just complained a lot about NZXT, but even though NZXT build doesn't have this part here, we're going to go ahead and use this as our sort of comparison. As you may have seen earlier, I could not choose 2 sticks of 8 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz RAM. It's not what I would choose anyway, but I didn't put 3600 megahertz here just to, thumb my nose at EK water blocks. It's just all I could choose. So there we go. This has, as far as I could do, the most similar build. Okay, NZXT H710i. Larger, their larger case to sort of match the capacity of the O11 Dynamic, 5600X, a 3070, and you can actually tell what kind it is, not that they have it right now. And the X570 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi motherboard is comparable price-wise, maybe give or take 20-30 bucks to the Asus Prime X570 Pro, but that is made up for by the faster RAM and the additional $50 cost there. NZXT Kraken X63, is that going to do as good a job of cooling as the EK water blocks whole custom loop? No, it's not. But you can actually just do that later yourself if you want. I find that to be a fun concept. I think it would be a great time to learn how to do that, but you might not ever want to. That's what EK is there for. Because of that $500 upcharge to get their system covers all of the purchasing of all the components. The fittings that you use are super expensive. They engineer it for you, they test it for you. Everything is done. So, do I think this is a good deal? If you were gonna do this yourself and you don't feel like it, if you want pretty much some of the best cooling you can get, period, yeah, it's a good deal. Now, if you want to just go with an all-in-one liquid cooler, which should perform just fine, you can get a lot more for $3,000. Now, what do I mean by that? What more could you get than a 5600X and a 3070? Well, let's talk about VRLA tech. What you can get for that $3,000 is a Ryzen 7 5800X. Oh, and a GeForce RTX 3080. You see where I'm kind of hesitant about that? If you really, really like EK water blocks and you want to get yourself that system where it's like all done and it's got the tubes, because tubes are cool, it's like science. If you want to do that, like, go for it. That's really, this thing, look at this thing. Freaking look at it. It's nuts. The front of the case, can you show it? The front of the case is a reservoir. It's a distro plate. It's the distro plate reservoir pump combo. It's amazing. It's freaking sweet, but it's a lot of money for less performance. So that is up to you. Now, if you want the same specs as the VRLA tech system and you got the extra scratch, well then don't get this one. Just get yourself the one with the 3080 in it. Right here. 3080 Ti. There you go. $5,500. We all know how absurdly expensive the 3080 Ti is. It is a 3090 with half the VRAM. It runs cooler though than the 3090 because it doesn't have half of that VRAM on the back of the card where there's no active cooling. Whatever. That's a whole other issue with the 3090. But yeah, I mean, you are paying a premium, but you are also getting a premium product. If your budget, all right, $5,500. Not gonna lie, that was a real cough. If your budget is $5,500, look no further, because this, with the Ryzen 9 5900X, the RTX 3080 Ti, that is a sick combo. Okay, 3080 Ti is basically a 3090 with less VRAM. Don't forget that. Okay, so it's gonna cool better than 3090 because it doesn't have VRAM slapped on the back with no active cooling. It's gonna run great. But good Lord, that's a lot of money. There's too much to unpack here. Let's talk about another way to spend this. Another way to spend this $3,000. All right. Okay, a way to get a premium system for that price. Okay, we go here to Corsair.com, and it'll put you in whatever region you're in. You go to gaming PCs, and I've talked about these guys before, and I still think that this is some of the best quality that you can get in a pre-built, okay? The Corsair Vengeance pre-built PCs. They hit a lot of price points, and you do get quite a bit for that money, but it is still a slight upcharge. You get that Corsair tax, you get all your components all in one. Everything is one brand, except for the parts they don't make, like CPU, GPU, motherboard. Everything else is Corsair, including a sweet 5000D airflow case. So it has a ton of airflow. Is that the 5000D? Yeah, it is. If you're looking for that $3,000 system, $3199. Configure. And actually, let's switch it over to the, what does it do with this? Well, it's $3,400. $3,400 will get you a Ryzen 9 5900X and a 3080. Okay. Now that is pretty close to the VRLA tech system here. About $400 more, way better airflow, way better processor, done in rings. You're good to go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick $2,500 build here, okay? So we're gonna go with the Lianli Landcool 1. We can go with a 5800X. We're gonna go for the 360mm radiator, and we're gonna go for the 3070 Ti. And go with this 700 watts will get you free upgrade to 800 watts, 80 plus gold certified. We're gonna go up to a 1 terabyte NVMe drive, and then we gotta switch the RAM. And let's just say we don't wanna go with the certified major brand gaming memory, like that doesn't tell me anything. Let's throw some RGB up in there for $45. Now, here's where it gets a little dicey. We're about $171 over. And the 3070 Ti is about $140 over the price of a 3070. About $40 more than it should be. But if we click this, it will then cause an extra 4 weeks estimated lead time. But it then gets us to just around that $2,500 budget. So if you want it faster and you got the extra $140, go with the 3070 Ti right there. You will get a small boost in performance. Personally, for a system that you're going to be spending a lot of money on, that you're going to have for years, a few extra weeks, I feel like that's worth it. But there you go, $2,500 system, and it's a 5800X and a 3070. Now, if you are just gaming, if all you're going to do is gaming, mostly, and that, by the way, when I say just gaming, I mean you can also do like homework and watch videos and do the basic stuff. Gaming is higher demand. What I'm talking about is if you're not just going to be gaming, you're going to be doing content creation, 3D rendering, or anything like that, then you're going to want the 5800X. If gaming is your goal and that's what you're going for, you can still do other stuff on the 5600X, just not quite as fast. It has 6 cores instead of the 8 cores of the 5800X. But we also took off $173 in price, meaning we can now switch over to the 3070 Ti for $24.98, and there's no extra lead time. There you go. For the $1,500 price point though, I would say the system that we had here in the same day ready systems is very good. $1,500 gets you the Core i7 11700F CPU, and that is the latest gen processor from Intel, and the RTX 2060. And that comes to you in like 5 to 10 days. Cool thing about the same day ready systems right there. That about wraps it up for us for this video. And if you have any questions, please comment down below. If the video was to your liking, like it. If you want more, subscribe. This is going to be going on. I'm going to be updating you all throughout the shortage, which is estimated to go well into 2022. First or second quarter 2022 is when we'll start seeing some improvement. That's estimated by the industry, not by me right here in the old coconut. So that'll do it for this episode of System Integrators Weekly. I will see you next Sunday, and until then, take care.